Hey everybody, it's Jay-Z here saying what's up. I'd like to thank you for checking out this video. Today I'm going to be doing a deck tech on the Saskia deck that I played earlier this week. There was a couple problems with the deck, and so I decided, you know what, I'll do a deck tech on it. If you want, you can check out in the details. I'll post the new updated deck list on Tapped Out, so you can check that out. Feel free to subscribe to our channel and also check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and of course Tumblr. So to start off, I want to kind of go through what the deck is designed to do and what was wrong with it. So if you haven't watched the video, I highly suggest you do. Maybe jump 30 minutes in to the Saskia deck, because that time is when game 2 starts, and you'll be able to see kind of what the deck was designed to do and what I'd really like to do with it going forward. So first of all, I noticed that the mana ramp in the deck was really lacking, and so one of the things that I knew I was going to want to add was a couple more cards to kind of give it that extra mana ramp that it has. Now the deck as is, when I played it on Magic Online, really only featured a couple of mana ramp cards. That being, there was Commander Sphere, Gruul Signet, and then a few of the green creatures that give you additional mana. Not Stonehoof Chieftain, sorry. Just kind of cycling through Sylvok Explorer, Sacred Tribe Elder, and then there was cards like Rampant Growth and Farseek in there as well. So I wanted to kind of amp that up a little bit. One of the cards I'm going to be adding, which I don't know how it wasn't in there in the first place, is Sol Ring. So with that, I'm going to be adding Sol Ring, and I'm going to be actually cutting one of the cards that every time I've ever played, I never even got it, and that was Inquisitor's Flail. My idea behind Inquisitor's Flail is that I was going to throw it on Saskia or another creature, deal a crap ton of damage, and then deal a crap ton of damage to another player as well. But it really just hasn't been checking out. I'm going to cut it. Another card I wanted to add was another Signet. So I really have a choice. Right now I only have the Gruul Signet. I'm finding that I really want white mana more often than I've been getting. So I'm going to actually add the Celestia Signet in, because I'm finding myself wanting green mana and wanting myself white mana more often than not. So I'll kind of grab that, and then for that one, I'm going to actually be taking out another creature that just didn't perform like I wanted it to in any of the other games that I played, and that's Honored Crop Captain. She was in here because my idea was make a bunch of tokens, swing, and she'll give my tokens a little bit of a buff, and she's a nice early beat stick. So she was good in theory, but again, didn't quite make the cut, so I cut her out. Now, one of the other things that I kind of ran into was I ran into a lot of problems dealing with creatures with flying. So I wanted to add something that was going to help deal with flyers, and for that, I decided none other than the good old Gruul Charm. Gruul Charm can do three things. Modal cards are always good in a deck. So with Gruul Charm, you can, number one, if you're on the offensive, you can make it so that creatures without flying can't block you. With Saskia, this is great because you can say, oh, that person can't block me, that one can, so I'll make it so that that person can't block me. Now I can slam, do a lot of damage. You can also use it against control decks to gain control of all the permanents that they might have stolen from you, which with this deck, it has a lot of really nasty creatures, and so they might want to do that. And then lastly, which is the important one, it can deal 3 damage to each creature with flying. So against a Spirit deck, this works really well. I wasn't able to trade with a lot of them early on, but if I would have been able to deal 3 damage for 2 mana, I could have easily done that. So I'm going to add that card. To cut that, what I'm going to actually be cutting for that one... Sorry, I'm going to switch this actually to a list view real quick. And I'm going to be cutting out Elephant Guide. Elephant Guide creates a token, which is nice, and it also buffs a creature, which also is nice. However, my creature will have to die in order for me to get that token, and the time, the speed, I'd rather just play something else, so that's why I'm cutting that card. Alright, so next up, another cut I'm going to be taking out is Emblem of the Warmind. It's a cool card. I love the art. I love everything about this card, but it just wasn't doing what I wanted, which was creatures having haste. And in a couple of times, and it's becoming more popular, and you're probably going to see it in your own Commander games, mill strategies are really starting to make a comeback with Frayed Sanity. There's a lot of things that can mill really, really quickly. And so I decided to grab one of the best red creatures that can still do what I want. Anger. Anger is good. Anger will give us the haste that I want, but it'll also work in the graveyard just as good. And if not, it's I mean, it's a 2/2 for 4, which kind of sucks. But if I can get it into the graveyard, then it'll do what I want it to do. So that'll work for me. The next thing that I wanted to do is I really wanted to focus on the highlight and the MVP of my games, which is Dune Brood. Dune Brood is awesome, and I totally made a really bad misplay. I had cast Rancor on the Dune Brood, giving it +2 in trample, thinking, alright, I'll be able to get a couple extra sand tokens. However, if I would have cast Saskia that turn, I could have attacked with Dune Brood just at 3 damage, and I would have gotten 6. Actually, I would have gotten 10 tokens because the amount of power on him has nothing to do with how many tokens I got. So putting that trample effect on him didn't really do what I wanted, even though in my head I was thinking, oh, I get tokens equal to his power, which was 5, which also just happened to be how many lands I had in play. So if I would have played Saskia, I would have actually gotten 10 sand tokens, and that would have been a lot more damage. And so something that I quickly wanted to do is really kind of focus Dune Brood as my MVP. I want to get him out as often as I can. So with that, you can do things like Transmute. You can do Court of Calling, which is good. I'm going to grab one of my favorite kind of Gruul spells. I love green-red. Always have. So I am going to actually grab one of the nastiest bros that I can think of for this deck, Avatar of Slaughter. So with Avatar of Slaughter, he's going to give everything double strike, which means that my people are going to be hitting twice as hard. With Saskia, that's extra damage on the other opponent. And with Dune Brood, I'll be able to get additional endgame sand tokens, which is kind of fun. I just thought he would be kind of fun to throw in there. And so what am I going to take out? I am going to be taking out... Sorry, one moment. Why can I not find it now? There he is. Perforce's Emissary. I originally had designed this deck to kind of have a bestow theme, which quickly went out the window, but somehow he stuck around. That just makes it for an easy cut. Another thing I want to do is I want to add ways to make sure I get my Dune Brood a little bit easier. Signal the Clans is one of those that I just love to play. It's a lot of fun. They're like, oh god, what is he going to pick? And so I get to grab 3 creatures with different names, which works great for EDH, and then I discard one of them at random. Oh, I'm sorry. One of them goes into my hand. The other 3 go back into the deck. So if I grab 3 creatures that I definitely want, I'll be able to really kind of show them, say, hey, this is what's in your future, guys. Which one's it going to be? They don't know. It's kind of fun. And so for that, I'm going to actually cut out another one of my bestow creatures that kind of had stuck around. And that is the Archon. Celestial Archon. Again, bestow was fun, but it wasn't what I wanted to end up doing with the deck. So I'm cutting that out. I am going to keep Night Howler in here, though, because that thing is nasty. Already added the Anger. The next thing I wanted to do is switch out, kind of a switch for switch. Again, I don't know what I was thinking when I put it in here. I think I was just thinking budget. But Call for Unity was a good card, but it works a little slow because it only happens once, and it's only if something dies. So I'm putting in a direct, straight upgrade for this one, and that's Cather's Crusade. Cathar's Crusade costs the exact same amount, and it'll have way quicker of an impact on my game and my board state. So we're just going to be doing a switch for switch with that one. Not really losing anything, definitely gaining a lot more. And the last thing I just wanted to add was a little bit more action, and that's Veteran Explorer. He is a fun turn 1 play, pretty much good no matter what state of the board it is. Drop him down. If I've got Skull Clamp, I can Skull Clamp him right away, draw 2 cards, put 2 lands into play. He's just all around kind of fun, and I'm just cutting for him another one of my Bestow creatures, the Nyxborn Rollicker. So now with this deck, what I'll be able to hopefully do is do a couple different things to find the Doom Brood, get a little bit more aggression out, get my mana base going a little bit smoother. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me. Remember to subscribe and like the video, add comments below. Otherwise, have a great time. See you out there.